All right. We are starting the deck profile. I've just started the recording. What is going on, stream? It is Logan JYA here, Cheat Master 55 on YouTube, and we are going to be going through my deck profile of the Gladiator Beast that I played today. A needle fiber tournament held on Dueling Book from some New Jersey duelists, particularly the Rutgers YuGiOh Club. And it was a fun little tournament. It was nothing huge, but it was a great chance to, get out in a bit more of a competitive scene and try out some random new decks in this insane Wild West format that we have going on during the coronavirus form. So definitely an intriguing time to be playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And I had the chance to actually do decent with Gladiator Beast. This completely blew my mind that this actually ended up working. I expected to lose round one, but the deck was doing what it was supposed to do. I'll talk about the pros and cons as we get into the list, but I think it's about time that I shut my mouth up and start going through the cards. First and foremost, we open things up with Triple Ash Blossom. It's super strong. I feel like most decks should be maining 3 of this right now. Follow that up, we got 3 of the big boy, 3 Augustus. This guy comes up all the time. He is one of your main combo enablers. You like to see him in hand. You don't like to see too many of him in hand. He can be a make or break for your hand, but he is definitely a helpful card to have. Adorix, I don't really know how to pronounce this one, but this is one of those key cards that has absolutely been helping me out infinitely when playing. I was originally not playing this card, and I was playing one of the other big boys. The name is Vesperus. It's, I think, a level 7, and it's the one that's used to hard make Dominate Tanis. I can't pronounce any of these names, by the way. Spoiler alert, I can't say any of these names except for Ondal and Test Tiger. That's all I can really pronounce, and Bestiarg. So anyway, the whole point of this one is when you have to summon or search level 4 or lower, this substitutes as your Augustus. So that's very useful, because that comes up a lot. And that's one of the intricacies that takes a lot of practice when you're playing this deck, and that you're going to have to get used to, is knowing when you can summon certain levels and when you can summon certain types. Because you don't want to be cheating, and you also want to be sure that you're making legal plays. I think those are one and the same thing. But you want to make sure your plays are legal. You got to be knowledgeable of what you're summoning and what cards let you summon what. Anyway, we're only playing one Bestiary. It's a shame. This card was at 1 for the longest time, and people were begging for it to come off to multiples, but we're only playing 1 right now. It's because we have a lot of cards that sub as it. We have a lot of ways to search it straight out of the deck. There's no reason to play any more than that. And we also have an alternate route into Gizaris, which is insane. But it's still a great card. You got to play at least 1. I'm also main decking when Darius. This card comes up a lot. Recursion from Grave. If you got your Augustus in Grave, you're bringing that boy right back out. This one is the best by far. A quest lets you add back Comeback. Comeback is not once per turn. This card is insane. If you have a way of summoning Augustus, or 2 Augustus, even better, and you have a Proving Ground in hand, or you have this in hand, you are going to be getting your Comeback back, and you're going to be able to resolve your Tamer twice, which means it's even easier to set up Infinite Gate combo, or it's even easier for you to get an extra Dominataris or an extra, what's this guy called? Heraclinos on the field. So it's just awesome. It's awesome. Now moving on from that, we're playing the Triple Rescue Rabbit. You know we gotta be playing the Triple Rescue Rabbit. The vanilla variant of this build is the best. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Having access to cards like Rescue Rabbit and Unexpected Die is unparalleled in quality. It's extremely good. It generates you stupid amount of advantage. However, my heart drops every time I summon this card because I'm so scared I'm getting ashed. I always think I'm going to get hit with that hand trap at this pivotal point in the start of the play. Now, however, there are hands that enable you to play around an Ash on the Rescue Rabbit, or let you play around not even using your normal summon and holding off on the Rescue Rabbit. But they are requiring upwards of 3 cards. So, take what you can get. Leave the rest at the door. Moving on from the Rescue Rabbit, though, we got Triple Test Tiger. And I was always hesitant at putting this card at 3, but it's exclusively an extender. You're not doing it for its effect. You're doing it to make the Test Panther, which is the superior card. So he just special summons from hand. It's a free body. And sometimes it does come up. Once today in the tournament did it come up that I had to tribute him, shuffle back, and then special summon from deck. So it can come up, but seldom does it ever. Follow that up with the Triple Ondal. You're summoning that off Rabbit, you're summoning that off Unexpected Die, you're using it for Link Spider plays. It comes up, it's great. The vanilla variant is the way to go. And then we have our infinite combo enablers in the form of Thunderbird and Apex Avion. So I don't think I have to explain those. You guys hopefully know the combo. If not at this point, just go look it up. I'm not going to explain it to you. We got triple Gladiator Beast Comeback, the most broken unfair card in the deck. The reason why, it's not once per turn. It's not once per turn. It's insane. You just keep bringing the Tamer back. It's great. I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't want to play 3 of that. I guess you could make the argument that it's searchable and that you don't want to brick it, but it's not a brick. It even de-bricks your hand. It lets you summon from hand. You drew an Augustus and you can't get into your Rabbit, where you're going second and you need to put a Glad on field. Boom, you activate Comeback and you're in the game. The name, it couldn't be more accurate. Gladiator Rejection. This is not a Gladiator Beast card. Be sure you know that. This card's great when you open it. If you don't see it, or you see it in the late game, it kind of sucks. But it is so awesome because it protects your Glads from Veiler and Imperm. And it also lets you summon extra bodies from deck when resolving Panther, when resolving Unexpected Die, when resolving Rescue Rabbit. It's insane. It gives you so much advantage, and it guarantees that you're either getting into Infinite Gate combo, or you're getting into your full double Tamer play. So, Rejection is great. Follow that up with Triple Call by the Grave. I personally chose to go first with this deck. Now, I know that Gladiator Beasts, objectively speaking, are a good going second deck, but in this current format, I was way too afraid of going second into Hefty Back Row or second into Mystic Mine, things like that, when I know that my deck has the capability to set up a combo that A, has infinite negates, or has upward of 6 negates. I think that there's absolutely no reason to not go first. So that's why I mained the Triple Call by the Grave, and that's why I was trying to go first. However, we still wanted to be ready for when we were going second, so we also played the Mind Control. I think the Mind Control, it came up once or twice. I was playing against, was DDDs in the tournament? I'm trying to remember right now. I was playing against DDDs today, and Mind Control was absolutely essential. It really, really helped me out. So I was definitely happy to be playing that. Followed up with a 3 Unexpected Die to take the Ondal right out of deck, put it on the field, trigger your Rejection, great card. And then we have Gladiator Proving Ground. The importance of this card, obviously it's a simple card, just add a level 4 lower Glad from deck to hand. Some lists don't play this card at all, and some lists choose to max it out. I wanted to max it out because I think it improves the consistency of the deck, and I think that's something that the deck extremely lacks, and I think it's very important to max out on your consistency cards. So that's why I decided to play 3 of the Proving Ground. Moving on, we got our Out to Mystic Mine, the main decked Out to Mystic Mine, 1 Gladiator Beast charge. It's also searchable off your Test Panther, which is great. Target face-up cards on the field equal the number of Glads you control as monsters, and you can pop those cards. So it's a lot like Salaman Great Rage, only instead of link rating, you're doing it for the Glad monsters you have on field. It makes a great board even better. It outs Mystic Mine. It's very important to have in the deck. Follow that up with Double Impermanence as our last hand trap, and that pretty much seals the deal on the main deck. And we are going to move on to the side deck. Now, the side deck is far from perfect. There's actually a lot of changes that I want to make to it, and I'll talk about those as we go through them. First and foremost, Triple Droll. I didn't play against anything where this was super relevant, but I do remember thinking that this is a good card to play in case I ran into a danger matchup, or I ran into Shadal Invoked. It's a good card for that matchup. So those are the reasons why I was siding the Droll. I sided the Murmelio because I did still want to have access to this card, because this pops monsters. If you're playing against a deck where you're especially afraid of a particular monster card, then I think that there's a reason to bring this card in and have access to it, because it just serves a purpose very similar to your Bestiari. It's spot removal. Triple Twin Twister for the Mystic Mine and the back row decks. I thought there was no reason not to be doing that. You got to be playing that, all right? Next, we got Double Solemn Judgment. This should have been at 3. Easily should have been at 3. I don't know why I wasn't siding 3 of this, but whenever I lost game 2 or game 1 and I was going to make myself go first, I was bringing in the Judgments because it just helps you lock up the game. And since I was already maining the Imperm, I was like, if I know I'm going first, why not just bring in Judgment? It's objectively better if I see it. Now, I understand the logic of drawing into the Imperm in the later game may be better than Judgment, but rarely. Very rarely. I think that there's a great case to be made for bumping this up to 3, and I guess if I was going to side deck and I was looking at it now, and if I was going to do 3 copies of Judgment on the side, I would take out the 2 Imperms and maybe 1 of the Proving Grounds. That's another cool thing about the Proving Grounds. They're blanks, so you can use them for side deck cards. Not all of them, hopefully, because otherwise you're going to be kicking your consistency in the knees, but I do think that there's a case to be made there. Next, we got the really obvious one in the Triple Nibiru. I don't think I gotta say much about Rocky. He's great. I got Nibiru once today, and I think I still might have won that one. Nah, I probably lost. I can't remember, but regardless, I did get to play with the Nibiru, and it was nice. Double Lightning Storm. Case could be made for 3, but I'm happy with it at 2. It's just when you're going either second and you didn't really get a chance to see what you're playing against, because some people will just scoop when you set up a really, really good first turn board. If you don't get the chance to see what they're playing, then you may just want to bring the Lightning Storms to be safe. And there's just a lot of matchups where that card is just infinitely good. So we got through the main board. We got through the sideboard. Let's get to the extra deck. This is where some of the best spice lies, and also some things that I do need to change and talk about. So first and foremost, we got two of the really big boy I can't pronounce it. I definitely can't pronounce it. I'm not going to even try to, but he's great. He negates monster effects and he redirects attacks. The cool language about the card is that it affects the player. It says you get to choose your opponent's attack targets. So if this card's effect, say you're under Mystic Mind, you still get to choose your opponent's attack, like who they get to attack, because it affects the player. And it's not an activating effect. It's pretty cool. It's a cool interaction. How relevant is it? Not really, but it's cool. One Gizaris. This is what I want to talk about, because there was a few times today where I was like, damn, I really wish I had that second Gizaris. Because sometimes you're using him as a combo piece to go into your Infinigate combo, and that combo is great, and you almost never want to pass it up when you have the opportunity to get into it, especially a really safe version of it. But sometimes it'll take your Gizaris, and you want to hold that guy for later in the game too. He is your main source of removal, popping 2 cards on your opponent's side of the field just like that. And if you're doing that before battle phase, oh my goodness. Dude, you get to summon 2 Glads after battle phase. That's insane. I won off this card alone when I was playing against, what matchup was it? It was game 3, round 2. What was I playing against? Oh man, I gotta remember, man. But regardless, it was awesome. If anyone who was watching on stream can remind me what I played against round 2, I don't know why it's escaping me right now, but I do remember resolving Gizaris, and it was absolutely insane. It was so great. I felt bad for my opponent because he bricked pretty hard. That's why I'm having trouble remembering. There was some rough brickage there in one of the later games, but Gizaris just locked that up. Anyway, moving on, we got one Heraclinos. Sometimes you will summon him for his effect as a negate, but a lot of the time he will also be another combo piece climbing into Infinigate to make your Union Carrier. We got the Double Tamer. This is what I'm talking about. This is the card that brings out all of these fusions for absolutely free, which is insane. And it's not once per turn, and you can recur it from grave with Comeback. So here's something that some people don't realize. Contact fusing is the summoning condition for summoning a Gladiator Beast fusion monster. If you summon it that way, it was properly summoned, which means you can summon it back from the graveyard. In doing so, since this card's not once per turn, you can just go boom, 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 keep doing it. Now, of course, it is once per turn while it's face up on the field, but it's a soft once per turn, which means you can do it multiple times in the turn if you are reoccurring the card or you're summoning a new copy. So, insane card, absolutely insane. I love it. But there's no reason to play 3. It'll never come up. You're going to be pulling it out of the graveyard plenty of times, so there's no reason to play more. Moving on, we got the Appaloosa. This comes up. It's another way of establishing a really strong board. Maybe if you're not going for Infinigate, you can go for Appaloosa. Comes up. Boral Sword came up today. Definitely glad I was playing it. It is a very, very strong... I don't need to explain Boral Sword. You guys know what it is. Samorg for Infinigate combo. Special out Apex Avion. Nightmare Unicorn, obvious reason. Spot removal. Nightmare Phoenix, obvious reason. Spot removal of back row. I don't think I summoned either one of those at all today, but they're good to have. Follow that up with 2 Test Panther. This is your main enabler. I'm trying to think if I really need to explain this. If you have any familiarity with the deck, you know that this is what starts it for you. But he searches a Gladiator Beast spell and trap at the start, and then he shuffles in a face-up Glad into the deck to bring out another from deck, which triggers their effects. It's crazy. It's really good. This is the card that the deck needed to be really good. Union Carrier, Infinigate combo. Link Spider, combo enabler with your Ondals. And ladies and gentlemen, that locks up the first place Glad Beast deck profile from today's Rutgers YuGiOh Club Needle Fiber Tournament. Thank you to everyone who came to check that out.